was over 100 children that came through. Now it's, not so many.
Right. Yeah.
And
the numbers,
they cater to them a little bit differently, just because of the sensitivities of the children, to where we were.
Okay.
They were on us. They were on us very tough.
Right.
It was mostly
Right.
the stress of discipline, and right behavior and respect for your elders. That's still going on, but it was just like a little bit, more pressed into us.
Understood. Definitely understood. Well, what prompted you? First of all, what type of music did you listen to growing up?
Well, my father exposed us to Motown. We listened to Stevie Wonder. We listened to Marvin Gaye, and then I fell in love when he introduced me to jazz music. I remember listening to Miles Davis's Sketches of Spain, and his, he did Pest Control.
Right.
And so I would roll along with him.
Yeah.
And he put on the Miles Davis Sketches of Spain album, and I guess he saw the look on my face.
Right.
He leaned into me and said, "That's a genius right there." So that stuck with me.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy. Wow, man. So I was one of those ones too that really was affected. Not just by jazz.
Hold on, I'm live.
My parents' music, period. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just something about it. Like,
I think that's most children that get their first understanding of music is from their parents, because we don't, you don't own the CD player, or you don't own the car, so you're driving in, so whatever they're playing is kind of what influences you for the most part.
I remember asking my mother, why is it that I can enjoy your music just as much as I can enjoy the music that's out here from my peers? And the answer she gave me at that time was, because it's teaching you something that I can't teach you myself. Like, you're learning from it in real time, and I always had that question, like, why can't I listen to the Parliament? I can't. I get laughed at if I go outside and try to play this on the basketball court. Like, you know what I mean? So
no, my father, he didn't let us listen to modern day music.
He was strict on it.
Yeah, we weren't hip hopping and none of that.
Militant?
Very much so. Very much so. Very strict, disciplinarian. His moral codes and principles were ours. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And there was no acting out, especially don't let it get back to him.
Yeah. And with that, what made, because I had a cousin whose dad was super hard on him, and because of that, it made him fall out of love with things that he should have been in love with. So because of how forceful the instructions were coming from his dad just wanted to see the best for him. Right. But at the end of the day, the way he was, like, it started feeling like it was more for his father than for him. And so, he's 6'11", almost 7 foot, and his dad, of course, wanted to be the NBA player. He hated it so much he preferred to be a tennis player. You know what I mean? Like that. So what about you as far as me?
I love, my father was my best friend growing up, and I definitely stuck by his side, and I really cared for how he viewed what I was doing, for sure. Not to say that everything was for him, but I felt like we fell in line in a way to where I love music. He listened to great music. I wanted to become a musician, and he didn't stop me. He didn't stop that. Right. So, later on, high school, growing up, for sure it made him a little bit nervous of me wanting to pursue an arts path. One time he told me, man, I thought this was going to be a hobby.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think he wanted, if he could have chosen maybe something more secure in a sense, he but he never forced me. You know what I'm saying? And we definitely bumped heads. There was definitely that coming of age of rebelling against some of the things that he thought. But now, me 34, I'm seeing a lot of what he was saying is real. There's certain shows he wouldn't let us watch, certain music he wouldn't let us, and before I'm like, man, I'm missing out.
Yeah.
Why can't I sag my pants like my homies? Why we can't wear that? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Now I'm growing up, I'm like, wow, he was absolutely correct. It was like the social programming. He was very much,
say that again. Social programming.
Yeah. I thought I was missing out at the time, but some things. But now I'm seeing that it was his love for us that was keeping us away from
I think that's what is missing. A lot of people aren't fortunate enough to. A lot of sons aren't fortunate enough to have, or just kids, period, to see their parents
Say that.
as their best friend, right? And as much as I bumped heads with my stepfather growing up, and I would never dare to say that was my best friend back then. I found out that he was my best friend all along.
Real talk.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he called himself. He said, I'm your crystal ball. Like, just listen to me and you go for. And of course, you can't become a carbon copy of somebody.
Right.
You know, you gotta learn these. You gotta bump your head and make mistakes yourself. And you know, you growing up too. He wasn't a perfect human being. You know, you start to see some idiosyncrasies and certain things. He fell out of line with his own values. You know, but that's just the world we live in. It's not a pure enough space for everybody to just be perfect. You know what I'm saying?
And I was going to talk about that perfect and about those spaces, because I want to talk about the space for you. Now, your younger self. And because we've interviewed, I want to ask you this. If your younger self were to see the you of today, do you feel like it would feel satisfied? It'll feel like there's still more to do? Or do you think it'll be disappointed?
I feel like my younger self would be proud of some of the things I went through, of just the resilience of keeping and not quitting. Of course, I'm building myself every day. You know what I'm saying? I'm living for that younger self in a lot of ways, because I know what my potential is. So it's not quite there yet, and he would probably tell me keep going, don't stop. You know what I'm saying? But I think he would be proud of the fact that I'm still here. You know, and still have the mindset that I do.
Straight up.
So it's 4 types of saxophones. Am I correct? 4.
There's actually a lot.
Well, not types, but like I guess.
There's the main ones. You got the main 4. I think you know goes with just like the voice. You got
voice,
you got the baritone, the largest one that you commonly see. Then you got the tenor, which is smaller than that. Then you got the alto, which is my horn.
Okay.
And then you got the soprano, which is the higher voicing. Okay. So it follows the human voice. They say the saxophone actually is the closest instrument to the human voice.
Okay. And what is your favorite saxophone player?
My favorite horn player?
Yeah, horn player. Yeah.
What? As far as my horn, of course, you got to give it up to Charlie Parker. You got to give it up to Charlie Parker. You got to give it up to
Charlie Parker. Give a little thing on Charlie. Good.
Charlie Parker was born in Kansas City, Missouri. Moved to Kansas City, Kansas. He was 14 when he discovered the horn.
That's dope.
And you were how old when you discovered it?
I was about the same age, actually. I played the flute. My first instrument was the flute. I played that when I was 11 years old.
Okay.
But I did transition to tenor saxophone when I was 14. My father.
Yeah.
But Bird, very complex character. He was a blues musician. He came off the styles of Lester Young. He was probably the most influential. He has the same birthday. Something about Bird. He has the same birthday as Michael Jackson. Very few people know that, and they both changed the style of music that was played. They both had such a large influence. Bird, people are still. Without Bird, there would be like no hip-hop. You know, it goes that deep. You know what I'm saying? So
Charlie Parker?
Yeah. Without Charlie Parker, it would be a lot of these modern forms. They're still trying to figure out what he was about.
He was a pioneer.
Yeah. Very troubled man. He died at my age where I'm at right now. He was 34 years old when he passed away.
Wow.
And he suffered from the effects of drug addiction, alcohol addiction, and but that's not the main story of him. The story of him is the genius that came out of him. You know, he was boss dog on the horn when he was about 20 years old. He killed it. Went to New York and destroyed, put the whole world on its ear. So
I want to talk about life lessons, because I feel like a life lesson in that. What do you feel after you saw about talking about my man? What is one of the lessons life has been basically showing you over and over again, especially about your passion?
Well, it is an outlet to release tension. Charlie Parker's life, without that horn in his hand, would have been a lot different.
Now that's what we're talking about. That's the meat.
That horn gave him an outlet to, the suffering of his life. He was able to have an outlet, that horn, to transmute all that turmoil and suffering into something beautiful. So that's what the art is about. A lot of people I see nowadays in going into any artistic art field, and something I tell my students when I see them frustrated, or it can get deep. People cry, all sorts of, they get really down on themselves. I try to tell them this is not something to develop inner tension. This is not something, I gotta get it. No, it's something to release the tension, So
yeah, that's my mantra, man. You know what I'm saying? Music is therapy.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Intention is key. Love is the message.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And you do release. You get to release a lot of frustration, pain, anxiety, troubles. Through the music. And like you said, you don't want the music that you're trying to create, or while you're learning a craft, to add on to
the traumas that you already probably are experiencing. Yeah. I feel better every time I play. After I get done with a performance, no matter what's going on.
Absolutely.
Man, well, we gotta cut this particular segment short, but before we do, what thing you want to, because I have another question to ask, but
go ahead.
I want to ask you, when did you find out that Vegas wasn't so sweet, that it wasn't all about the lights, but it actually had something more than just the neon lights?
That it had more.
Yeah. When did you realize that?
When I was told by another saxophone player, you can make, well, I knew I could make money playing music. My teacher, at 14, showed me that when he invited me on his gig and gave me a 20 every time, which is a lot of money for a 14-year-old without a job. But in my early 20s, I was told, man, you can go out there and you can make music on the streets and you get paid. And I was like, nah, what? Ain't nobody gonna, if I start playing. But I went out there, man, and for a lot of my 20s, that supported me, being able to go on the strip and just, back then you could set up on the bridges, get on the bridge, and I'd play all day, man. Make some money, man.
Yeah.
Go back, and my people who didn't have jobs, I was able to support them in ways and have fun, you know what I'm saying?
How easy is it for you to just hop on something and hear what you would like to add to that track?
At this point, it's pretty... It comes to me fairly quickly. Not that, it comes to me fairly quickly. Maybe it's not the idea that somebody else would have wanted on there.
Yeah.
But
now, is that a service that you provide?
I do. I've done a lot of recording sessions with different, artists, hip-hop artists, mostly hip-hop, Afrobeat.
Okay.
When I was in LA, I did a lot of reggae music.
Okay.
So we just released an album from a band that I was with LA. I had played on it last year. I had recorded from last year, and they just got it out, and
that's dope.
Yeah. So I hop on track.
All right, well, man, we gotta kick this gate up out of here, but we definitely want to bring him back in for a more in-depth, situation.
I feel like we
ain't scratched the surface.
Nah, not even a little bit.
I know it. I'm knowing it, but it's just the situation we in. NASA, got to take care of business. Got to get those bills paid.
I appreciate y'all's platform. And really, y'all doing a great service to the community here with this.
Tell them where they can reach you at.
My Instagram handle is Patah, PTAH _music_studio. You can also reach me at my music Instagram, which is Mosax_LV. Facebook, Mohummed Rafi Shakir. You can reach out to me from there. If you really care, I'll give you some more info.
No doubt.
And you can reach me at 1/5 Black Transit, Instagram, Facebook, Westside Art Studio, Dirty Red, or just Dirty Red. You can find me at either Mariposas, Foreign Exchange, wherever my talented brothers are at, that I mess with, that I'm locked in with. Best believe you're going to see me there supporting them and making sure that we're rocking for the squad, because it's all about nation business. And what about you, fam?
Yeah, man, you can reach me at DJ Slim. It's DJSLIMM on Instagram. You can also reach me at my Neo Soul Families page, which is Black Transit.
Yeah.
Black__Transit. You can also reach me at Good Music 101. Spell it with a Z and a K. Also, Fifth Element Hip Hop. The Fifth Element Hip Hop on Instagram. And yeah, man, big shout out to everybody that's watching and paying attention, tuning in. Tune in next week. We have another great show and another great person and somebody that we're going to interview, a great guest, man. So glad y'all tuned in.
Yeah,
See
without
y'all next
that,
week.
peace.
Peace.
Salute.
68 inches above sea level, 93 million miles above these devils. Play me in the winter, play me in the summer.
So that's
play
the
me in
outro with
autumn.
the